I'm Phil Bolton with the Global Atlanta News Service, and I'm here today with Michael Wheeler of NTT Communications. NTT is Japan's counterpart to our AT&T. Welcome, Michael.
Thanks, Phil. It's good to be here.
You come quite regularly here?
Yeah, I come to the southeast of the United States, Atlanta, Miami as well, probably 3 to 4 times a year. And we also have some staff that are based here as well.
You've had an internet backbone here in Atlanta since 2006.
Yes, correct.
Describe what brought you to Atlanta and how have your services evolved since you've been here?
Basically just sheer demand. Atlanta plays such a key part in this part of the country regarding business and enterprise customers, and there's so many regional and corporate headquarters that are based here that we had regular requests from existing customers as well as potential customers to be in the marketplace. And so that was the initial catalyst to having us come to the market, and it's continued to be the reason why we've seen success in the market and seen the growth that we've seen.
What services have been most in demand in the Southeast since you're having come to Atlanta?
Well, for our perspective, the core just need for additional bandwidth. We serve as an ISP, a Tier 1 ISP for for customers that are business customers, not consumer here in the United States. And as businesses are doing more and more things online, doing more and more, they're not just email, but transactions and even storage of all of their information within the cloud, data storage, software as a service applications. All of those reasons are the catalyst as to why customers that we have here in Atlanta need our service. And so when companies continue to grow and evolve in that usage of the internet, that continues to kind of drive demand for us.
You know that Japan has more than 300 companies represented in Georgia. There's been a very close relationship since the 70s, really. Did that play a role in the decision to focus on Atlanta?
It played a role, actually, and it was certainly part of what when we were doing our kind of market research and demographics of the region, that we were very happy to see. It wasn't something that I would say we knew or had done much of research and knew previous to that point. And so it was great to see that. It's been a helpful thing as we do serve quite a few what we call Japanese multinational customers in the United States for their needs, particularly New York. Atlanta's another strong market, and then the LA and Bay Area as well. Those tend to be the places where we serve those customers the most.
You're in a very competitive field. How does your Asian presence give you a competitive edge in the Southeast U.S.?
For us, it's a unique aspect that we can bring to customers. For our larger customers, most of them are not selecting between one vendor and another. They tend to use a multi-vendor strategy. So by offering a unique value proposition with our network in Asia and connecting back to the United States, it certainly creates a unique situation for us to be able to take advantage of. From a U.S. perspective as well as global network overall, we're very comparable to any other Tier 1 networks that are out there. But we have definitely a unique offering in regards to our Asia presence and the trans-Pacific capacity that we have.
For instance, we're learning of companies that are involved in China more and more. Are you a good service for them?
Yeah, China is a unique opportunity. It's a huge opportunity. It gets a lot of attention at a lot of levels, for business around the world. For us, we I think have 2 elements that again are unique. We have certainly our relationship within Asia itself. China and Japan have been long-term business partners, not just for the internet, but for any number of areas of business for a long time. And so that creates a value that I think we bring to our customers in that regard. And then with a lot of the Chinese carriers, we interconnect with those carriers in a lot of cases on the west coast of the U.S. as well. So again, if you have a manufacturing requirement and you have maybe plants in Asia, we can provide you service from Japan, from Philippines, from some of those places directly to China through our network, as well as if you're still based primarily on the United States, we can provide the same kind of thing.
Are you extensively present in India?
India is an area we don't have an extensive presence. NTT has made some very strategic investments over time in India, and to the tune of several $billions worth of investment into some of the carriers that are India-based, but we haven't actually deployed our IP network into India yet. I think at some point it's really more a matter of if as opposed to, or when as opposed to if, but it's something that we really know is a draw for customers as well.
You mentioned the Philippines. You must have a presence there.
Yeah, we have a strong presence there, again, by nature of a POP, as well as we own a pretty significant stake in a company called PLDT, which is the Philippine Long Distance Telephone Company, and they're basically the incumbent in the Philippines. And so NTT holds a seat on the board as well as a pretty significant stake in that company, and that partnership's important for us at a lot of levels.
How about Indonesia?
Same thing. We have a presence in Indonesia, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, so on and so forth. Really throughout Asia.
So you're really dominant in Asia.
Yeah, we're certainly one of the largest carriers in Asia, not just from an internet perspective, but in general terms. Japan's obviously our core domestic market, as you mentioned early on, but Asia overall has been an important geography for us, for NTT for a long time.
Where does North America measure in?
Actually, from an internet perspective, North America and Asia are relatively comparable. The amount of customers and traffic we have in the United States is indicative of a company that NTT acquired about 10 years ago. In the year 2000, NTT acquired a company called Varia that was based out of Denver, Colorado, and had a U.S. network presence that was very significant. And that's actually the company I came from, and have been with the company since then. So our U.S. presence and our Asia presence are very strong. If you look regionally, Europe is probably the third largest of the two, but U.S. and Asia are very comparable, almost equal.
And growth markets for you, where are you looking now?
Yeah, growth markets for us there's certainly metropolitan areas in the United States that we don't have a POP in yet. I don't want to name specific ones, but we continue to look at some of those opportunities. Outside of the United States, we would be looking particularly at Latin America as one of the next major regions of growth in the next few years. We don't have a network presence there yet, but we are certainly been looking at that very closely. I've been doing quite a bit of research on that, and we've been able to obtain a lot of customers from Latin America that connect to us in the United States. Not in Atlanta proper, but in Miami is a particular important gateway for Latin America, as well as New York City is also a pretty key place.
Last year we talked about Twitter and what that would do for your services. Sure. Now it's Twitter, Facebook, etc. Right. What's the result from your perspective?
Well, the social networking space overall, Twitter, Facebook, and the others has grown just incredibly, not just in the last 12 months, but even in the last 36 months to 5 years. And so that continues to be a really intriguing area for us. Again, as people have used those services more, particularly in the case of Facebook, there are lots of examples where initially it was just a way to connect with previous friends or that kind of thing, posting a few pictures and just little updates. Over time, you've seen really a draw towards using Facebook as a way to kind of entertain people, the games, all the widgets that Facebook provides, and all that interaction, as well as posting of videos, and that type of thing has been a really important draw as far as bandwidth and requirements for bandwidth out there for those customers as well as their end users.